Chosen ones, stop scrolling. There are moments that don't knock. They arrive already inside the room. This is one of them. If your chest tightened as you read that line, it's not coincidence. It's recognition. Heaven has a way of whispering your name through timing, through interruption, through a sudden stillness that says, pay attention. What unfolded last night was bigger than headlines and louder than silence. Something shifted in the unseen, and you, yes, chosen one, felt the aftershock before you understood the cause. You've been carrying questions you couldn't name, bruises no one could see, and a fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. You've survived battles you never posted about. You've walked through shadows that tried to convince you your sensitivity was weakness, your confusion a flaw. But confusion is often the smoke that rises just before the revelation. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe and comment I receive if your spirit is already responding, because this message is about to speak directly to you. This isn't a pause, it's alignment. Listen closely. The night did not behave like other nights. Time bent, patterns broke. The investigators of the spirit, watchers of light, took notes. Even the unseen realms paused. Even the archangels were stunned. This wasn't ordinary. This wasn't routine. It was a checkpoint in destiny, a recalibration of paths, a quiet verdict rendered in the courts of heaven. And you were on the docket. You felt it, the tug toward purpose and the resistance against it. The ache of knowing you're meant for more without being handed a map. The way doors close to protect you, not punish you. The way survival trained your discernment. These weren't accidents, they were preparations. The shadows didn't win. You learned how to see in the dark. The light didn't abandon you, it taught you patience. Now the clock is audible. 15 seconds left is not a threat, it's an invitation. A final breath before movement, a countdown before clarity. Divine timing doesn't rush, but it does arrive, and it has arrived for you. Stay with me, watch closely, because what's about to be revealed will name what you felt, validate what you've endured, and activate what has been waiting, quietly, faithfully, inside you. Chosen one, let's speak gently but honestly about last night. Because what happened was not ordinary and your spirit knows it. There are nights that pass quietly, and then there are nights that leave a residue in the air, a sense that something unseen moved through your life. Last night was the second kind. The events didn't follow normal emotional logic. Thoughts surfaced without effort. Feelings shifted without explanation. It was as if time itself slowed, paused, and waited. Have you ever woken up knowing something changed, even if you couldn't name what it was? This wasn't imagination, and it wasn't coincidence. There are moments when the visible world overlaps with deeper layers of awareness, and sensitivity increases. Even those who don't usually notice energy felt something was different. Restlessness without anxiety, stillness without emptiness, a strange clarity wrapped in mystery. When these moments arrive, it's because alignment is happening beyond the surface. And alignment doesn't always announce itself. It reveals itself quietly. Last night carried the weight of orchestration, not chaos, not confusion, orchestration. Pieces moving into place without noise, paths adjusting by fractions you couldn't calculate, conversations that didn't happen yet mattered, decisions that weren't made yet were prepared. This is how higher timing works. It rearranges without disruption, it prepares without pressure, and it leaves you with a subtle awareness that something important has already begun. You may have noticed your thoughts drifting towards certain questions, about direction, about purpose, about what no longer feels right. That's not accidental. When deeper realms pause, they do so to invite awareness, to help you notice what's been trying to get your attention for a while now. Ask yourself, what kept returning to your mind, even when you tried to distract yourself? What felt illuminated, as if a soft light was suddenly turned on? This kind of night doesn't happen often. It arrives when cycles are closing and new ones are being authorized. Not everything changes at once, but permission changes. Permission to see clearly, permission to release old weight, permission to move differently. That's why the shift feels calm rather than dramatic. Calm is the signature of alignment. Chaos belongs to resistance, not transition. You didn't need to do anything to earn this moment. It came because you were ready to perceive it. Readiness isn't perfection, it's awareness. And you've been cultivating that awareness through patience, endurance, and quiet reflection. Last night was a response to that growth, a signal that something beyond human timing acknowledged your readiness and adjusted accordingly. So don't rush to explain it away. Don't minimize it because it didn't look dramatic from the outside. Some of the most significant changes happen without witnesses. Let this understanding settle gently. You don't need answers yet. You need presence. Because when divine orchestration begins, clarity follows in stages. Stay attentive today. Notice what feels lighter. Notice what feels resolved without effort. Notice what no longer pulls at you the same way. These are echoes of what shifted when most of the world was asleep. And as the day unfolds, chosen one, you may realize something powerful. Last night wasn't meant to be understood immediately. It was meant to position you for what comes next. Chosen one, what you felt wasn't random emotion drifting through the night. It was a signal. The universe rarely speaks in full sentences. It communicates through sensations, patterns, and subtle disruptions that catch your attention before your mind can label them. That strange feeling you couldn't shake, the sudden calm mixed with alertness, the sense that something was off but not wrong, those were not accidents. They were preparations. Have you noticed how the most important signals are often the quietest? The universe was not warning you in fear, it was aligning you in advance. Alignment doesn't always arrive with excitement. Sometimes it arrives as stillness, sometimes as restlessness without anxiety, sometimes as an unexplainable urge to pause, reflect, or detach from noise. These moments occur when your internal frequency is being adjusted to meet what's coming next. If things felt subtly rearranged inside you, that was the point. You may have experienced small disruptions, sleep that wasn't quite normal, thoughts surfacing unexpectedly, memories or ideas revisiting you without invitation. That wasn't your mind spiraling, that was recalibration. When alignment begins, the universe clears static so clarity can land. Old mental loops loosen, emotional weight shifts. You don't feel different all at once, but you feel ready. Ready for something you can't fully name yet. Can you sense that readiness beneath the uncertainty? The universe prepares before it provides. It adjusts perception before it alters circumstance. That's why the signs were subtle rather than dramatic. Dramatic signs overwhelm. Subtle signs train awareness. You're being taught to recognize alignment without needing proof, to trust shifts in energy before shifts in reality. This is higher level discernment, and not everyone develops it, but you have through patience and attention. What's important now is not to dismiss what you felt just because you can't explain it logically. Logic comes later, alignment comes first. The universe doesn't rush explanation, it establishes position. Right now, your position is changing. You're being oriented toward what fits your next chapter, not what supported your survival in the last one. That's why some things suddenly feel heavier, while others feel lighter without reason. Ask yourself this gently. What feels less urgent than it used to? What no longer holds the same emotional charge? What ideas feel closer now, even if you haven't acted on them yet? These are signals of alignment. They're telling you that the path ahead is being prepared, not just externally, but internally. The universe doesn't waste signals. If you felt something, it was intentional. Preparation is already underway. You don't need to chase what's next. You need to stay receptive. Alignment works best when you're calm enough to notice it and grounded enough to trust it. So stay aware today. Stay gentle with your thoughts. Let insights surface naturally. You are not being pushed. You are being positioned. And when what's next arrives, it will feel familiar because the universe already introduced you to it quietly. Chosen one, when we speak of archangels here, we are not speaking in fantasy or fear. We are speaking in the language of symbolism, protection, and higher order. Across spiritual traditions, archangels represent forces of clarity, guardianship, and divine order. So when we say even the archangels reacted, What we're really describing is a moment so significant that it required intervention, not observation. A moment where balance needed reinforcement. Have you ever sensed that something stepped in before things went too far? This was not a subtle nudge. It was a decisive recalibration. Protection alone maintains the status quo. Intervention changes the trajectory, and what occurred carried the energy of redirection, not just defense. It's the kind of shift that prevents outcomes you never even see, while opening paths you couldn't access before. That's why the aftermath feels calm but profound, like something resolved itself without asking your permission. Can you feel that quiet finality, as if a door closed gently but permanently? In spiritual language, archangels symbolize moments when order is restored at a higher level, when confusion, imbalance, or misalignment is corrected before it manifests fully in the physical world. This tells us the situation reached a threshold where passive watching was no longer enough. Something needed to be set right, and when that happens, it's not random. It's purposeful. It means your path mattered enough to be guarded. This wasn't about punishment or rescue. It was about alignment in your favor. Intervention doesn't mean you were failing. It means the stakes were high. It means what you're moving toward carries weight, responsibility, and consequence. Higher outcomes require higher oversight. That's why this moment feels different from ordinary challenges you faced before. This one didn't drain you. It stabilized you. You may notice now that certain fears have lost intensity. Certain attachments feel weaker. Certain decisions feel easier. That's not coincidence. That's clarity returning. When higher order intervenes, it simplifies what confusion complicated. It doesn't overwhelm you with information. It removes what was never meant to stay. Ask yourself, what no longer has power over your thoughts the way it once did? This is also why you didn't have to fight. No confrontation, no struggle, no exhausting effort. Intervention works quietly because its goal is balance, not drama. It restores flow so you can continue forward without carrying unnecessary weight. That's a gift. Not everyone receives correction without pain, but you were ready to receive it through awareness instead. So don't overanalyze it. Don't demand proof. Let the symbolism speak through the results. Notice the ease where there was resistance. Notice the calm where there was tension. Notice the certainty where there was doubt. These are the fingerprints of intervention. You are still responsible for your choices, but now you're choosing from a clearer place. Whatever was adjusted, it was done to support your forward movement, not interrupt it. And as you step into what comes next, you'll realize something quietly powerful. Help didn't arrive to take over. It arrived to ensure you stayed aligned with what was always meant for you. Chosen one, this is where the message becomes personal, immediate, and vital. You need to pay attention, not because someone else is watching, not because it's dramatic, but because your own future depends on it. This isn't just a story you hear in passing. This is a call to awareness, a divine insistence that the next steps you take require conscious alignment. Can you feel how certain moments in life aren't meant to entertain you, but to awaken you? This is one of those moments. Awareness is the difference between moving through life unconsciously and moving with purpose. Right now, the universe is presenting signals, subtle nudges, quiet synchronicities, the lingering pull of intuition. And these signals are not random. They are tailored to you. They are meant to illuminate choices that will ripple forward in ways you cannot yet see. Imagine a small action today that prevents months of unnecessary struggle tomorrow. That's the power of presence. That's why paying attention isn't optional. It's essential. Your decisions, actions, and mindset in this window matter more than you realize. What you choose to prioritize, how you respond to insight, and whether you honor the subtle wisdom nudging you will shape how you step into this shift. Even small misalignments, ignoring your instincts, clinging to familiar but limiting patterns, reacting impulsively, can delay or dilute the momentum being orchestrated on your behalf. Ask yourself, have you been reacting from pressure or responding from clarity? Which has served you more? Paying attention also means noticing what usually goes unnoticed. Have you felt a strange sense of calm where there used to be tension? a gentle nudge to pause when the world demanded movement, a lingering thought that refuses to leave. These are not coincidences. These are markers of alignment. When you recognize them, you step into a rhythm that matches the shift already in motion. When you ignore them, you remain out of step with the higher timing that's being delivered to you. This call to attention is also a gift, because once clarity meets action, resistance loses its grip. The universe is offering you the chance to step into the shift gracefully rather than being dragged through it chaotically. The insight you receive now, the decisions you make in this quiet window, will set the tone for the path ahead. You are being positioned, prepared, and protected, but you must honor the process. Can you slow down long enough to notice, to discern, to act with intention instead of reaction? Remember, this isn't fear-driven urgency, it's wisdom-driven focus. You are being trusted to steward your awareness. You are being invited to step fully awake into a season that has been quietly prepared for you. Every choice, every thought, every small action aligned with this guidance becomes a lever that tilts your life toward clarity, provision, and fulfillment. So lean in, chosen one. Stop skimming the surface. Listen closely, feel deeply. Let the subtle signals of guidance register within you. The shift is coming, and your awareness today determines how gracefully, powerfully, and fully you will move into it. This is your moment, and it asks nothing less than your full presence. Chosen one, this is where the invisible begins to become visible. This is where the shift you've been waiting for starts to shape your reality, even before you fully understand it. The changes are subtle at first, like sunlight piercing through clouds before the full day is revealed. Doors you thought were permanently closed are quietly creaking open, as if the universe has decided it's time for you to step through. Have you noticed opportunities appearing in ways that feel uncanny, almost too perfectly timed to be coincidence? That's not chance, that's orchestration. Paths that once seemed blocked, whether by circumstances, other people, or even your own doubts, are beginning to clear. The resistance that held you back is dissolving, layer by layer. You might not yet see the entire road, but you can feel the subtle expansion around you. The heaviness that weighed on your decisions is lifting, and in its place is a space for clarity, insight, and new possibilities. This is the way realignment works, quietly, persistently, with precision that only becomes obvious in hindsight. And it's not just one part of your life that's shifting. Your financial reality, relationships, career opportunities, and personal growth are all being realigned simultaneously. The universe works holistically. When one area changes, it ripples outward to create balance in other areas. Perhaps a conversation you avoided is now leading to reconciliation. Perhaps a financial strain you've struggled with is showing a path forward. Perhaps doors you thought were locked in your purpose or calling are now hinting at the next steps. Can you feel how interconnected it all is? How one small alignment unlocks multiple layers of your life? This is also why patience is key. Realignment is a process, not an instant miracle. It doesn't shout, it whispers, it doesn't force, it invites. You will notice the subtleties first: a new connection, a sudden clarity, a feeling of release. But over time, these subtle shifts compound into tangible changes. And the magic is this: even when it feels slow, it's faster than it would have been without this divine orchestration. Ask yourself, where have I been resisting movement because I thought the doors were closed? Where have I held back because I didn't see the way forward? The very moment you release the tension, the path becomes visible. The alignment was always happening. Your awareness is simply catching up. So lean into the quiet signs. Notice the small openings. Track the doors that present themselves in ways you didn't anticipate. Your life is in the process of realignment, chosen one. Your finances, relationships, purpose, and opportunities are all being guided toward a version of your life that is more harmonious, more abundant, and more aligned than ever before. The shift is not just external, it is internal. As you step into these openings, you will also step into greater clarity, confidence, and understanding. And once you see how the pieces begin to fit together, you'll realize that every struggle, every pause, every moment of waiting was part of the preparation for this exact alignment. This is your path being rewritten, quietly, intentionally, divinely. And it's ready for you to walk it fully awake. Chosen one, this is where the divine urgency becomes personal. What you must do now is simple in words but profound in practice. Stay aware, stay calm. Don't ignore the signs, the subtle shifts, the gentle nudges, the synchronicities that brush against your life. They are not coincidental. They are signals. They are your guideposts in a world that often demands action before clarity. Ask yourself, have you been moving through life reacting to noise or listening for the quiet signals that guide the path meant for you? Awareness is more than noticing. It is presence. It is the ability to perceive without judgment, to feel without panic, to understand without forcing explanation. Right now, your awareness will determine how seamlessly you step into the changes already in motion. The universe has been orchestrating opportunities, realigning paths, and opening doors, but your ability to recognize them, to respond instead of overlook them, is the key that turns preparation into progress. Have you ever missed something important simply because you weren't watching closely enough? This is why attention matters more than effort. Stay calm. Calm is the foundation for discernment. Fear clouds judgment and rushes decisions. Anxiety blinds you to openings that are quiet yet precise. By remaining centered, you create a space where insight, intuition, and timing converge. You allow yourself to move when the path is visible, instead of stumbling forward blindly. Ask yourself, am I reacting to pressure, or am I responding from awareness? Your answer defines the trajectory of this moment.